Welcome to the Daybreak Star Radio Network. Our motto, what we're known for here across all nations, across the globe, is the radio network that's officially indigenized in the airways. We just had our amazing celebration here last night for Indigenous Peoples Day. A lot of people stopped by our table, downloaded our app. Thanks to everybody who stopped by. And Noe, we're super excited. We've been trying to book this interview here for some time. We have the honor and privilege of talking to Niandra Blonde here, coming to us from Ontario, California. And I'll kick it off. Please tell us how you got started in the music business and what motivates you on a personal and professional level to pursue a career as a musician.
Ooh, okay. What got me started was just typically, like my love for music. I didn't really think of it as a path for my life until not like a couple of years ago when I discovered these new wave jazz artists, and I was so intimidated by it that I had to learn what was happening. And I just fell in love with it ever since. And I guess what motivates me now is just trying to create things that sound interesting and trying to innovate the native music scene a little bit and kind of push the boundaries and see what comes from that.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Noe.
Yeah. So you started to speak a little bit about the influence the new wave jazz artists that kind of inspired you recently. And throughout your musical journey, I'm wondering if there have been any other significant milestones along the way, like the artists, any albums you've listened to, things that really kind of have guided you along that path.
Yeah. So the catalyst for me was Stevie Wonder. I think everyone's familiar with that name, household name, but I don't think a lot of people really dive into his discography too much. And it wasn't until my friend Ayla Teslamrabe, who's a guitarist from Vancouver, she sent me one of his albums, and I just, from the jump, I was just on board. It was Intervision's first song is Too High, and that was the first Stevie Wonder song I learned. But the second I heard that, I was like, man, this is so crazy. I've been missing out on so much. And since then, I've just been on this chaotic musical journey just to discover as much music as I possibly can. And yeah, I think Stevie Wonder was just the turning point in my life.
That's wonderful. Yeah, Stevie Wonder is really great. And thank you for the album recommendation. We'll definitely check that out.
Awesome. If you're just tuning in and checking out our interview today, welcome to the Daybreak Star Radio Network. Noe and myself, we are interviewing Niandra Blonde here, coming to us from Ontario, California. For all of our listeners that are still getting familiar with you, could you please share with us what instruments you play? And if you have any particular favorites and why they are your favorites.
Okay. Yeah. I started playing guitar. So I play guitar, piano, and bass. And I started guitar in 2013. John Frusciante was my inspiration then from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And I didn't really get into piano until 2020 during pandemic. And that's literally because of the Stevie Wonder album that I talked about earlier. And from that, I was like, I might as well learn bass. So I picked up the bass, and it's not too hard after you've learned the guitar for a few years. But I think my main instrument now, my favorite right now, is the piano, the keys. I think I just understand it a lot more. It's like a language I can connect to more than a guitar, even though I've been playing guitar for longer, but I just gravitate towards the piano a lot more.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So you're a multi-instrumentalist. You played guitar, you picked up bass, you mentioned, and then piano as well. I totally understand and resonate with the piano being a language. And in terms of your production, do you record, what's your production look like? And do you record using the different instruments that you play, or do you I'm just wondering more about that.
Yeah, it almost always starts on the keys. And that's just because it's something I can fiddle around with. And I think for me, it's a lot easier to find interesting sounds for me personally, because I'm not familiar with music theory too much, at least not on the guitar. I think I delved into it a little bit on the piano. So it's, for me, the piano is a really good tool for me to just discover new sounds and surprise myself a little bit. But yeah, every song I've written so far has started on the piano.
Wow, that's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Please share with us any particular messages or experiences you aim to convey to your audience through your music, and more importantly, to your fan base. And as your fan base continues to rise throughout your career.
Yeah, I don't know if I have any particular message for anything. It's just, the music I'm trying to make and the music I've made so far is just an expression of just like my life experiences. And I think if there's like one thing I do want to get across, it's for like, as far as like the native music scene goes, I think it's just showing people you can write music about anything, you know. I think a lot of people get caught up in the box of like a native musician has to be a certain thing, and like you can only be a popular native musician if like you know talk about this or like be a specific style. And I think it goes back to like our traditional songs, like they all they talked about and wrote about was just about experiences like love, heartbreak, and just being human. And I think I'm trying to emphasize that with my music, not deliberately, but just, you know, naturally. So
thank you so much. It reminds me of your song that you have released right now, April Monday, which is, I think, a really beautiful embodiment of all those things. You use like these very beautiful layered, like lilting rhythms, this like complex instrumentation, which honestly feels like, I don't know, it kind of reminds me a lot of, like you said, like new wave jazz. I feel like also I can hear maybe like a sort of influence with like Brazilian or bossa nova type style.
Yeah, totally.
Which, yeah, I really love that song. And I was just wondering, like, yeah, you know, was there anything particular that inspired that song, that process? And do you have any upcoming projects you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, so for April Monday, that came to me in August of last year, and it was just a chord progression I've had for a while, and it took a while for me to really flesh it out. But I guess the drive behind that for me was just to create something that was like unfolding constantly and kind of subverting expectations. I know that song isn't really for a lot of people because of the chord changes that it's kind of like, you know, it's an acquired taste to some people. It was for me for sure. Like I was not like a jazz head early on. I think, but it's like, you know, once you taste that blood of like these crazy chord progressions, you kind of just can't stop. And but as far as for new projects, yeah, I'm planning to release an EP by early next year. I do have a collaboration right now with this Brooklyn artist, Mason Moniz. She's a jazz musician, and I met up with her last time I was in Brooklyn, which was in June, and she recorded something for me, and I've been working on it for a while. So I don't know when that'll probably be out before the end of this year. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was great to be in conversation with you, chat about music, and we look forward to just hearing your upcoming projects as well. And we'll definitely be streaming April Monday until then. And so thanks so much, Niandra Blonde.
Cool. Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I hope
Take
you
care.
have a good day.